The mayor of Miami, Francis Suarez, who is running for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, currently polling 0.0, has made what could be a critical error, which is when he was asked about the Uyghur people. This is the Muslim ethnic minority in China that is very much discriminated against, that we've talked about before. He had no idea what it was and actually joked, what is it called? A weeble? And it is cringe. But the upshot of all of this is I don't think it'll really hurt his campaign in the sense that he's already polling 0. This was during an interview with Hugh Hewitt. Here is Francis Suarez making the argument that he has what it takes. So listen, if you're the mayor of Miami, ostensibly, you don't need to know much about the Uyghur people. You could say, well, he still should because there might be refugees in Miami. Okay, all right, but it's a bit of a stretch. Okay, you don't need to know about the Uyghur people to be a good administrator of the city of Miami. If you're making the case that you're ready to be president of the United States, you at least have to be aware of what Hugh Hewitt is talking about. If you're averse to cringe, you probably want to skip the following 12 seconds of audio and video.
Will you be talking about the Uyghurs in your campaign?
What, the what?
The Uyghurs.
What's a Uyghur?
Okay, we'll come back to that.
I love Hugh Hewitt going, we'll come back to that later. Yeah, someone might be able to pass him a note during the remainder of the interview. Dear God. And then here at the end of the interview, Suarez acting like he's going to take it very seriously and look into it. But he said, what was it? Is that the weebles?
You gave me homework, Hugh. I'll look at what was it? What did you call it? A weeble?
The Uyghurs. You really need to know about the Uyghurs, Mayor. You got to talk about it every day.
I will search Uyghurs. I'm a good learner. I'm a fast learner.
Yeah. This is really bad. And, the truth is, when I look at the list of people who are running, and by the way, as I told you, I have a new poll from Morning Consult. Suarez is polling 0, but it's like a super strong 0. It's probably close to 1. When I say he's polling 0.0, it's probably more like 0.9 or something like that. He's already polling 0. So what of these candidates, who would have something substantive to say about the Uyghur people? Trump, probably not. DeSantis, maybe. Pence would know something about them. Ramaswamy, he could probably talk about the Uyghur people, but it would make no sense. Nikki Haley, I think, would be the person who could most coherently talk about the Uyghur people. Chris Christie could. I don't know about Tim Scott. The point here is, I think Suarez may be alone in not even having heard of the Uyghur people, but most of these candidates would have very little that is substantive to actually say. Now, as a reminder, the Uyghurs are a Muslim ethnic group, native to, and I know my pronunciation's not good, Xinjiang, China. And they have their own culture and language. They face significant repression by the Chinese government, persecution. I've recommended a couple of books about this. We've done at least one interview about it. And China is accused of committing crimes against humanity and even genocide against the Uyghur people in Xinjiang. And it is a major geopolitical issue. This is another example of how these right-wingers who say, I guess I'll run for president, they really aren't ready for this. It reminds me of the Gary Johnson moment where he was asked, what would you do about Aleppo? And he goes, Aleppo? What's Aleppo?
In that category.
What would you do if you were elected about Aleppo?
About
Aleppo.
And what is Aleppo?
You're kidding.
No.
Aleppo is in Syria.
Okay. Now, fortunately for Gary Johnson, his campaign was also dead on arrival. So the damage done by that moment was limited, to say the least. Very, very bad. And, for all the criticisms of the people running against Joe Biden that I've had, I think if you ask Bobby Kennedy Jr. about the Uyghur people, he's going to have something for you. And if you ask Marianne Williamson about the Uyghur people, she is also going to have something for you. It might be, well, we need love. We need love for the Uyghur. I don't know what it would be, but she would have something that would make more sense than Francis Suarez. So polling 0 and probably not going to go much higher after yesterday's disastrous interview with Hugh Hewitt. And by the way, good for Hugh Hewitt. for saying, you're kidding, right? You got to know about this. This is something you have to know about. We'll come back to that. Maybe the funniest line ever uttered by Hugh Hewitt on the radio. Did you know that half of Americans are deficient in vitamins A and C as well as magnesium? If you keep your diet nutritionally balanced all the time, you can get everything you need, but half of Americans don't, and it can really impact how you feel. Our sponsor, Athletic Greens, makes it super easy. I mix 1 scoop of AG1 from Athletic Greens into water. It tastes great. I get all of the high quality vitamins and minerals I need from whole food sourced ingredients. I don't have to fumble around with bottles, capsules, individual vitamins, and things like that. I just don't have the time. You should see what's going on at my house. AG1 simplifies everything. I'm covering my nutritional bases for the entire day. Super easy to stick to as well, and dramatically more cost effective than getting all of these different vitamin supplements. Go to athleticgreens.com/Pacman for a free year supply of vitamin D. I've talked about vitamin D many times, plus 5 free AG1 travel packs. The link is down below.